I'm actually finding this quite fascinating, my gorgeous Cancer, because of the way things are going to unfold for you right at the beginning of this week. You are gonna find yourself at such a like a strange element, at such a strange stage of your life, where suddenly from the beginning of this week you are really gonna be reminded of a stage, if of a certain stage in your life where you had to make a certain decision and move on from something because you felt absolutely exhausted and you couldn't really deal with something. Okay, so this is exactly what are you going to be reminded at the beginning of this week. Now suddenly you will see something, and something is going to remind you of something that you used to do, or something that you were doing, something that you were absolutely loving, but then again you just run into the certain problems, and then you just basically became so exhausted and you gave up because you were like kind of obstructed and you were restricted as well. And this is what you're gonna be reminded of. And you know how you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel a little bit frustrated, and you're gonna feel like, oh God, I should have done this, I should have done that, oh my God, why didn't I do this, why didn't I carry on with that? Okay, so this in itself, it's all gonna stem from you. It's all gonna happen from you at the beginning of this week, being reminded of what exactly you were doing, what exactly you were working on, what exactly, how much exactly that actually meant to you. You will be able to feel it in your soul, in your spirit, and something is going to move you here. Something is going to move you in such a way where you're going to realize that now this is an imminent part of your life. You will realize that this is something that you really want to do. You will realize that this is something that you really need to bring back into your life. And you're not going to be able to stop thinking about this whatsoever. I know this means to you. I know that this is really important to you because it's to do with something that you're ever so passionate about, like, oh my God. And now this week, that in itself is going to become even more obvious. And I understand that the problems kicked in and there were some issues you had to deal with, and these issues which you had to deal with, they basically obstructed you and restricted you, and this whole thing made you completely exhausted, and you decided to move away from this. And my goodness, maybe you didn't even realize how much this aspect of your life means to you, but because the time in between now and in between when you decided to walk away from this, the time in between is just so ridiculously important. You know why? Because this was like a pretty much so crucial for you when it comes to like a certain experiences in life you have been going through. This in itself, it's not gonna be obvious to you straight away, but later on you will see that there were certain things that you picked up on. You will see that there are certain things that you've learned, like you weren't even aware of it, up until kind of like, in a few weeks time, this is all going to come to you one moment after another. So this in itself is going to make sense, because you will see that the whole this time, not only you were prepared for this moment, but also you really pretty much so did have an absolutely invaluable, experiences, like ridiculously powerful experiences, which were needed so much when it comes to you being prepared for something really, really big, which is actually indeed going to come out of all this. My gorgeous Cancerini, the bottom line is that this week it's gonna start like this, where you're gonna be like a little bit frustrated and you're gonna like a little bit blame yourself, but then again at the same time you are do you know what? Then at the same time, you are really kind of going to become aware of like some kind of a reward, which is going to come from hard work. And this reward that you're going to become aware of, this in itself this is going to make you feel really good, because it has a huge surprising element to it, okay? Something is really going to surprise you, but the bottom line is that you becoming aware of some kind of reward at this stage of your life. Oh my God, it's like a God's gift, literally. This is going to be such a powerful moment of your own awakening, my gorgeous Cancerini, because that couldn't have happened at a better time. Why? Because now when the week started, like, oh, you're so frustrated and a little bit negative because something just didn't work for you in the past, something you had to walk away from, now you're going to feel really sorry about it. You know that this energy is going to get you going, like, oh my God, it's gonna motivate you, it's gonna make you feel really optimistic. And just remember, there is a big element of surprise which is going to happen at that moment in time when you become aware of this reward, my gorgeous Cancerini. This is why this is going to be so important. It is not only gonna make you feel extremely determined, but it's also going to give you such a great willpower, which is gonna reflect on so many different aspects of you. And at this moment in time, this is going to be crucial. This is why you're going to be in such a good mood as soon as you become aware of this reward. So first of all, you're going to feel like, oh, frustrated and a bit of a self-blame. But then again, you're going to become aware of this reward, my gorgeous Cancerini. And this in itself, it's not only going to make you feel alive again, but you are going to perk up like a big mama. At this moment in time, you are honestly going to start having all sorts of ideas in your mind, but also there is all sorts of realizations. There are going to be all sorts of realizations. You are going to go into this mode, like when it comes to planning, you're going to be really kind of up for some kind of action here. But at the same time, you're also going to have a new idea, this new idea which you are going to have. It's going to be connected to that element of your life that you need to bring back into your life. When it comes to that self-blame, when it comes to you feeling frustrated about something not working in the past, that doesn't mean that this is not going to work for you in the future. This is why this is happening, my gorgeous Cancerini, because this is why you have been guided to this stage of your life. Now you have to, and you need to be as open-minded as you possibly can. When it comes to this particular new idea which you are going to have, it's like, oh my God. So remember, this new idea you are going to have about that aspect of your life that you've just felt so much of a self-blame, and what actually frustrated you in the first place because it didn't work in the past. This new idea, it's like, oh my God, this new idea which you are going to have, it's really pretty much so also like kind of gonna happen. Do you know how exactly this new idea is gonna happen? Actually, it's not gonna come to you just out of the blue. You're not gonna like kind of go to sleep and then you wake up with this new idea. No, baby, no. When you feel really good, when I said that, you are gonna become, you're gonna have some kind of reward which is gonna make you feel so good, it's gonna mean to you so much. And then I told you that you are gonna feel determined, that you are gonna feel this great willpower, and this is gonna put you in a good mood. After that, you are also gonna be so happy to say this as soon as you become aware of this reward. I hope this is not too confusing. So as soon as you become aware of that reward, which I told you you're going to become aware of, immediately you're going to have this person on your mind, somebody who is like one of the main people in your life, somebody who's so connected to you, maybe your partner, maybe your best friend, but somebody who you always talk to and somebody who you say your personal things to, so it's one of the main people in your life. You will immediately go to that person and you are going to have some kind of intense conversation, some kind of important conversation. And when you have this important conversation with one of the main people in your life, you are somehow going to have that new idea. So it's going to happen somehow through conversation which you are going to have with one of the main people in your life, but you're going to be talking about how excited you are about that reward, and then the conversation is going to spread to other things, like for example what you felt so frustrated about. And then suddenly, somehow, through this conversation, you are going to have this new idea. And this new idea which you are going to have, it's pretty much so to do which steps do you need to take next when it comes to this, self-blame, and when it comes to this particular thing that you decided to kind of walk away from because you were so exhausted and you had to give up because you were way too obstructed. So now you are going to know exactly which step to take next. And this in itself, it's going to be so important, because at the same time, the next step that you are going to take in exactly 11 days after that moment in time, in 11 days exactly after that moment in time, you are going to have a ridiculously important opportunity, which is going to stem from that particular step that you've actually decided to take. So that particular step which you are going to decide to take, in 11 days, you are going to have an important opportunity. And this is the opportunity that you are actually going to pretty much so be able, this is the opportunity that you have been waiting for, And also, my gorgeous Cancerini, it's like you are also going to realize that there is some kind of a bad idea that you need to kind of walk away from as well at this stage of your life. There is some kind of bad idea or some kind of idea. It's to do with something that it's no longer working for you, and it's to do with something that you've just been doing kind of for a while, but now it's just making you feel more unhappy than anything. But how I can describe this to you, it's like some kind of like a really not good idea, something that it's not gonna work for you, and you are not even kind of gonna realize this until this is pointed out as well to you, that it's like you are gonna realize that you maybe are refusing to take another point of view. And when you realize that maybe you are refusing to take another point of view, to kind of understand another point of view about something really, really specific. And this is also to do with exactly the same person who you are going to understand as well, this new idea. But also at the same time, through that particular person, you're also going to realize that maybe you're refusing to consider another point of view. And after that moment in time, you will realize that there is some kind of a negative idea or a bad idea. It's at the same time going to be highlighted. And that in itself is going to lead towards you focusing towards exactly what you should be focusing on. For example, what needs more attention and care at this stage of your life. This is also going to become absolutely obvious, because otherwise you would have a problem with this new endeavor, for example. So at around a similar time, you're also going to know what exactly needs more attention and care. And when it comes to more attention and care, you have to also make sure that you take care of yourself, my gorgeous Cancerini. Do something nice for yourself. Go and chill out somewhere. Go and relax somewhere. Reward yourself somehow. You don't have to reward yourself physically. You can also reward yourself mentally and spiritually by giving more love to yourself, by recognizing, like, step back for a second and just see what you've achieved in your life. This is also like kind of a great thing to do, especially when it comes to, praising yourself and understanding and being grateful. You can kind of view things in a slightly different light. And this in itself is indeed going to elevate you. But also, so give a credit to yourself wherever the credit is actually due. But at the same time, do something for yourself. Go to meditate, reward yourself, do something nice for yourself. I think that this is the great time of your life when you could actually do with something like this. I do think that you're due to have some kind of a little break or something like that. When I feel like this, I always like kind of try to somehow reconnect with the nature if possible. I always try to reconnect with the nature, you know. I spend a few days in the forest and things like that, or somewhere like in the nature, and that just makes me feel so good, and it rejuvenates me in a way nothing else would rejuvenate me like that. So this is why when I say that something needs more attention and care, I pretty much so this is also the great time to also to reward yourself and have a little break. A very, very important at such a powerful stage of your life indeed, because you know, let me tell you that, you know, this is the time of your life where the fog is about to lift, my gorgeous Cancerini. Indeed, this is the time of your life when fog, you know, is literally the fog is about to lift, and that means that, you know, the more you are open-minded with this, and the more you are like kind of doing things that come to you randomly in form of ideas and challenges, you know, especially if you are having challenging ideas at this moment in time, the more challenging these ideas are, the more rewarding they are going to be. This is going to be the time of your life where you are going to be pretty much so planting seeds which are gonna grow like there is no tomorrow, but this is not going to be obvious in itself. You need to understand that there is a very, very specific reason for it, for you to feel like this at the beginning of this week, like, oh my God, frustrated about an aspect of your life that you walked away from. You are being guided right now to do absolutely everything in your power to reconnect with yourself and to bring this aspect of your life back into your life. You have no idea how much is your life going to actually transform within the next few weeks. Can you imagine what is actually going to happen within the next few months just because of this? This is more important than you can possibly imagine. By the time you get to the mid part of this week, my gorgeous Cancerini, okay, there is going to be like some kind of a sudden change which you are going to become aware of. This is really going to surprise you. There is going to be some kind of a sudden change that you are going to become aware of. And when you become aware of this sudden change, you know, this in itself is going to require from you to make a certain move. And this in itself is going to require from you to make some kind of adjustment. The quicker you make this adjustment, the happier you are going to be. You will realize that this kind of like a surprising situation which is going to happen, it's actually going to work in your favor, because something is also going to pretty much so going to come to an end like really abruptly. But then again, normally you would be like, oh my God, confused and maybe angry or sad, but now you are gonna feel completely different. You are gonna feel completely different, and you're gonna realize because of that situation that has come to an end, you know, because of that situation you felt really incomplete. It's something that was really affecting you to move on. It's something that was really slowing you down, something that no longer works for you again. This is remarkable how many stages this week you are going to have, my gorgeous Cancerini, where you're going to clearly see something has come to an end. But wherever you see something has come to an end, there is also a brand new beginning right behind the corner. And it's exactly the same when it comes to this situation. Okay, so you're going to need to make an adjustment. You know, that is going to be obvious what this adjustment needs to be. But then again, at the same time, you're going to feel really pleased about this unexpected change, because it's to do this change that whatever was going before this change on here, this is something that has been making you and your life really incomplete. So now, you know, making this adjustment, it's going to be important, because at the same time you are going to like pretty much so become making this adjustment is also going to bring new possibilities into your life. But you're also not that long after that moment in time, there is somebody who is about to return into your life. There is somebody who it's not a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, ex-husband, ex-wife, no baby, no. It is, I think it's like some kind of old friend who you haven't seen in a really long time, or maybe like a family member who you're going to become aware of, who is about to make their return, like it's to do with the return of an old friend. And as soon as you become aware of who this is, like about a few days later, there is going to be a certain information you are going to become aware of connected to that particular person, and you're going to become aware of something that they've kind of achieved, and you're going to feel really proud of that person, what they have achieved. They achieved something amazing, they achieved something great. This is going to mean to you quite a lot, but most importantly, you are going to realize something that you want to do so much. You will realize what's missing in your life when it comes to what that person has achieved. So you are really going to have such a beautiful inspiration. This inspiration is going to be superb for you. Not only that, but it's also coming from somebody very, very special in your life, somebody who has a very special place in your life. So this is why you will be able to connect to this even more, even further. And also, my gorgeous Cancerini, 8 around the midweek, I like it, I like it, I like it. There is a message about a certain progress here, but this message that you are going to have, it's like really pretty much so to do with a specific goal. And now you're gonna realize that there is a pretty much so a bit more that you need to do about it, a bit more that you need to put in terms of energy. This in itself is going to make you feel very, very good, very creative. And at the same time, this in itself is going to become the beginning of a very, very meaningful experience where you will know that your life is like about to become some kind of adventure in compared to what it was just like about a few weeks ago. Like, oh my God, you will realize that you overcame like a really big obstacle, like a really big problem, like a really big challenge, but you're also going to realize that there is some kind of important negotiation which you are gonna need to have with somebody, and you're gonna be like worrying, oh no baby, no, I don't want to have this negotiation. You definitely should have this negotiation, because this negotiation is going to work in your favor. There are amazing things that are gonna happen to you after that moment in time. So my advice is 1000% go for it, you know. And also you are gonna become a very, very kind of you're gonna get a very unusual message, not related to this, not related to none of this what I said, but you're gonna get some kind of unusual message as well at around the midweek. And this unusual message is gonna make you feel really, really suspicious about something, and because something is gonna seem too good to be true. Okay, so it's gonna be like some kind of temptation connected to that message. If you get a message and something is not right, and something is absolutely not right, something doesn't feel right, something is maybe offered to you, or something feels like it's too good to be true, then just basically avoid and run away from it for miles, literally, because there is to do with some kind of temptation. You have to follow your intuition, and you're not going to be led astray, my gorgeous Cancerini. So the message that you're gonna get, something is gonna make you feel so suspicious, but trust me, just basically follow your intuition and you're not going to be led astray. You're absolutely right. You're 1,000,000% right. It's to do with some kind of a temptation, and you know what I mean, it's all down to you. I mean, if something sounds too good to be true, no baby, no. But it's always important to go with that first initial feeling when it comes to our own intuition. Very, very important. By the time you get to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Cancerini, you know, like, it's gonna mean to you so much, you know. I don't want to say that you're gonna be really sad or anything, you know. The week started with like some kind of self-blame. It's not that you've been sad or anything, it's more like about frustration. There's nothing bad with this whatsoever. But at around the end of this week, you are gonna be speaking to somebody. Again, it looks like people are gonna be playing a huge role when it comes to your life this week. But I'm talking about the actual people who are main people, you know, in your life, you know, your real friends and real family members, because you're going to be talking about something that's making you feel really unhappy to somebody else, and it's going to mean to you so much that you actually do have people who you can talk to and who you can open up to. It's really going to be this is going to mean to you so much even more, because there is something really specific that you're going to be talking about, your emotions and things like that. You will go really deep, and this person will really understand you. But then at the same time, when it comes to that person, it's somebody lovely, somebody wonderful, and you're also going to mention something about some kind of a family problem in the family matter. And I know that this is going to sound really weird and this is going to sound really bizarre, but I really hope that you're going to understand me, and I really hope that you're going to take my advice. Because listen, you're going to be talking about something that's making you really unhappy, something personal, something private, something emotional, and something that's making you feel really unhappy. And you're going to be talking about that to somebody who is very close to you. That person is wonderful, that person is lovely, that person is amazing. But listen, the person, people can be beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, but that doesn't mean that they are going to give you the correct advice. That doesn't mean that they are going to give you the right advice. I know this sounds bizarre again, but it's just basically, it's fantastic to have somebody to talk to like this, but that person is going to try to give you some kind of advice which is going to be wrong. That person is going to give you an incorrect advice. I'm not blaming this person, because it's somebody who is lovely, somebody who is gorgeous, somebody who is wonderful, somebody who is really nice. But the problem is that they're giving you an incorrect advice. And this is what I really hope that you are going to actually understand. So it's just like a lovely person, but it doesn't mean that that person is giving the right advice. Okay, so I really hope you will understand this, and the advice that person is going to try to give you, it's going to be connected to, on one hand, it's going to be connected to your family, some kind of a problem, some kind of issue, and on another hand, it's also going to be connected to you kind of investing into something. No, baby, no, no, baby, no, no, baby, no. So I hope that you are going to listen to me. Okay, so avoid the advice that this person is giving you. You can get so much out of that person. It's somebody really nice and lovely, but when it comes to this type of advice, I'm sorry, it is definitely going to be the wrong advice. So I think that this is on your mind. It's going to be obvious at that moment in time, but because it's again somebody who you really get on with, I really hope that you are going to be able to see through this. Okay, my gorgeous Cancerini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.